Hey everybody, Country Coder here. Um, Today I'm going to walk you through setting up an ASP.NET Core app, real basic movie database, um, some pretty cool functionalities that turns out is relatively simple to set up. Um, I say we've got the header with our navigation links, couple of a home page and a privacy policy page, then a database that we're going to set up with some movie data that we're going to seed, complete with a create new form where you can make a new entry, view the details, edit the details. Yeah, had a lot of fun figuring this out today. Should be even more fun walking you guys through it. Going to be walking through this is all, or most of, part of the tutorial on Microsoft's, this URL up here, learnmicrosoft.com. I just typed Google searched .NET Core docs, and it brings you in the area you need to go anyway. I think, yeah, that'll bring you. Well, here we go. So yeah, I googled .NET Core docs. It was the first one for me. Brings you to this page. Walk through this one too. This is more of a, well, I'll probably go over that sometime later. The documentation we're going to be following is the Create Your First Web UI tutorial. And we're going to get started right here. So the first thing I'm going to do is close this other one. And we'll close that environment. So this first step, this should be the end result of what we're looking for here. To get started, we're going to open up Visual Studio. I'm using Visual Studio 2022. I honestly at this point can't say for sure if it matters, but I'm definitely using 2022 for this video. And we're going to create a new project. We're looking for ASP.NET Core Web App, not ASP Core Web App Model View Controller. That's something else. So again, while I'm making it, it's the second one in the list, just regular ASP.NET Core Web App. Click on that one, hit next. We're going to name our project. I'll name it what was the, yeah, so ASP tutorial, and that's the location that it's getting saved on mine. Your default will probably be something /source. It's just where it's getting stored on your hard drive. It doesn't ultimately matter. And we'll hit next. We want to use .NET 7.0 standard support term, the latest version of .NET. Authentication type none. And I'm going to confirm whether we want. Yep, so it looks like we want to configure HTTPS. And it does call out do not use top level statement, or make sure that top level statements is unchecked. Yeah, I just realized that's kind of, but yeah, so verify that. Okay. I just messed that up. So, we're going to run through that again. Really? Oh. Alright. Luckily, I think that just escaped out. Okay, so, create new project, core. Wish I could remember what that is called. It should be Razor. Yeah, Razor pages. And the first time I had to check place solution and project in the same directory. I thought it showed that on this, but yeah, I guess that's the setting I went with and worked out for me. So it's another one of those that at this point I'm not sure what it actually means. Okay, semicolon authentication. Okay, do not use top level statements. Create. So we'll get our ID set up. And so yeah, then we'll run through and confirm what I know about what we have in here so far. We've got pages, and this should look so these CS HTML files are C# HTML files. It's a blend of HTML and CSS. That much I know for sure. And then you have the index.html, CSHTML.cs, which houses and runs the JavaScript, or runs the functionality logic for the CSHTML file. I think I explained that correctly. At any rate, we've got index, privacy page. Index is our home page. Yeah. Oh, excuse me. Then an error. Yeah, it's something to do with handling errors. Haven't gotten that far yet. And in shared. Oh yeah. Shared, we have our layout, which is basically houses the main HTML document. It's where the site CSS file gets imported. Houses the nav bar with the nav links, all that good stuff, and then our pages get rendered in this body function. Just a high-level overview. I think that's about as confusing as that gets. The program, this program.cs file is another important one we'll be working with quite a bit. Yeah. So we'll run back through. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, yep. So back in the IDE, can either press Control F5 or the outlined play button. Either way. That's going to build the website and launch it, and that's what, I mean, it's that easy to get a .NET Core, ASP.NET Core application up and running, web page, I guess. Yeah, woohoo. So good job if you made it this far. Let's keep going. Oh, I forgot to mention if you don't have Visual Studio installed, this link here will take you to the Visual Studio installer download page. Visual Studio installer. The community version is the free open source version. It's the one that I'm using. So yeah, that's how you get Visual Studio 2022. Side note. Alright, so back here. Yeah. So the first time you run it within the development environment, apparently, because I didn't have to accept it. The IDE will make an SSL certificate so that where'd it go? Play this again. As you'll notice, the development server is actually in using HTTPS or secure shell. Yeah. The connection's secure, and that's because the Visual Studio IDE creates that self-signed certificate. That's the page I wanted. Creates this self-signed SSL certificate to basically allow that to happen during development and not have to bypass the cross-site scripting rules and other security rules for development purposes. Opening the door to those potential security breaches leaking into production code is my understanding, at least. So anyway, the bottom line is the first time you run this, you do this in your Visual Studio environment, you're going to get a prompt to accept the SSL certificate, and it's going to warn you. It's basically saying that it doesn't know, it can't verify the certificate, so you should know where it came from, but you do know where it came from because it was just created on your computer. That's all you need to know about it, really. Well, not all you need to know, but at any rate. Examine the project files. Yeah, that's program C file. This part of the tutorial just goes through, which I definitely encourage you to read, but it goes through the documents that were created. So the next step here is actually adding a model to the database. So we're going to add a class, a model class to the database. This one here. So in the solution, alright, I'm going to move this over here so I don't have to keep switching back and forth. Right. So we're going to go clear up to our source directory. Right. Yes. So up at the source directory, yes, you're okay. I'm for sure this time. Your top level source directory. Go to add new folder. We're gonna call this folder models, and then we're going to add. I'm going to right click on models, add class, and we're going to call this class movie. And that's going to generate this class document for us. So we're going to add in the documentation. Makes this really easy to copy and paste, but for the sake of learning it and system, learning to do two things at once too, apparently. Component, yeah, okay, autocomplete, I'll let you do that. Dot data annotations. And then we got our namespaces, Razor Pages tutorial dot models, public class movie. And so in here we're going to add our fields, ID, that's because we're in. Okay. So remember the C# syntax. Coming from JavaScript, and this is by far and away the most I've ever done with the C language at all. So the string, we give a question mark, and the question mark means that it is nullable. Yes. Question mark after string indicates the property is nullable which basically means that it can have a null value in the database, I believe. And we're gonna go, and this is not what I want to do. Date. And that is data type. Yeah, this line right here is a data type attribute. Yeah, data type attribute that specifies the type of data in the release date property. So basically, this line in brackets here is specifying that public, it's not going to be date time, the release date still learning how to spell too. I can take the hate. Release date. Yeah. And once again, do the I can tell I'm used to JavaScript. Alright. At this point, I'm going to end the suffering for everybody. and grab these last two. So we end up with ID, title, release date, genre, and price for columns, properties. Yeah, for properties in our movie class. And don't forget the semicolon after the import statement. And after namespaces. Maybe that was I don't know. It says some in the docs. So now that we've got our movie model made, we need to scaffold the movie model. Pages for create, read, update. So yeah, this is the process that's going to give us those database forms where we can create, update, the functionality to delete, view the details. That's what this scaffolding procedure does. And get ahead of myself here. So I'm going to get this back out of the way. And we're going to create the Pages movie folder. So we're going to go to Pages here. Right click, add folder, movies. Yes. Movies, plural. And then on that movies folder, going to add new scaffold item. Yes. New scaffold item. And we're going to use Pages. Yeah, that's right. It's down here at the very bottom. Razor Pages using Entity Framework CRUD. So select that, add, and then our model class, going to choose our movie model that we just made. And DB context class, we're going to hit plus, and Razor Pages tutorial, or whatever you named your project, .data.razor pages tutorial context. Should be populated here like it is with mine. Add, leave the SQL Server alone, all of this. Yep, I didn't change any of that. So then we'll add, and it's going to download the packages that it needs to. And if you get an error during this process, like that, yeah, so the error, there's an error running a selected code generator. Install the package Microsoft Visual Studio Web Code Generation Design and try again. So what I came to find out that means is we have to close this, close that web page too, and reopen it. So Visual Studio Code, or Visual Studio launch screen, I'm just gonna reopen Razor Pages tutorial, get it back over where you guys can see it, and wait for everything to load back up. Little dance break. Okay, so then we'll right click on movies, add new scaffold item, all the way down at the bottom, Unity Framework CRUD, add movies, plus, add, no other changes. And with any luck at all, Boom. There she be. That's one of those that I was not, yeah, I was happy to figure out. Thank you, Stack Overflow. No, actually, there was an issue for that one out on, I don't remember where I found it anymore. It was on, I mean, it was for sure on a Microsoft website, like an issue, something like that, but it's good to show. 90% of, well, 80% anyway, of being a programmer is knowing how to use Google. Alright, so now that we're done with that side note, we got it's built, page movies created, index. Create the initial database schemas. Okay, so now that, oops. Hey, VD Van. Thanks for the follow. Okay, so where are we at here? So we got the scaffold to run. Scaffold process adds the following. Okay, yeah, that's right. So this is just telling us that scaffold process added this code to our C program.cs file. And from what I gather, this is a lot like the package, a packaged.json file in like a React framework, JavaScript sort of environment or application. But like I said, that's just my initial impression from what I've done so far. So now we need to create the initial database schema using EF, which is, if I know that, yeah, Entity Framework, EF, using Entity Framework's migration feature. Migration. So yeah, and this is another concept that I don't fully grasp yet, but essentially this, it sounds like the Entity Framework provides a tool to keep track of the database, your database updates, and keeping them in sync with existing data. It kind of sounds, and this is a loose association, but it kind of sounds like Git for databases. Like I said, very loose association, and just my impressions as I'm trying to interpret all of this. So bear with me, and don't take anything I say for as an expert opinion, for sure. It's not to say that I'm wrong, or I think I'm wrong, but anywho, back at where we're going here. So we're going to add the initial migration, update the database with the initial migration. So I'm going to get this back out of the way, and we're going to go to Tools, NuGet, Package Manager. I'm going to open the Package Manager console, which is this, ooh, excuse me, which is, yeah, this is a lot, well, basically the Microsoft.NET equivalent to NPM, you know, just it's a package managing tool, CLI, that allows you to bring in, well, like what we're about to bring in, or well, and run scripts, I suppose, because this is going to be using, yeah, should probably stop trying to explain stuff that I don't really understand, but yeah, then again, I don't know. Anyway, so we're going to add migration, initial, create, and it's going to build this out. And it does call out that this warning is because we haven't specified our types in for the price, or decimal, how many decimal places we want for the price, and we'll get to that. So then the next command we got to run is update database. Yep. So we'll go, yeah. So that is, if you're seeing the table here, then it's successful, or it succeeded, and the database is now ready to hold our movie objects, movie class, yeah, movie objects. So yeah, this next part of the docs, I need to stop doing that. Again, goes through the changes made to Program C. Then it goes through data context. Oh, that's, yeah, movie context. Yeah, there again, I encourage you to go through and read. So we're going to test the app by, I shouldn't have done taking that out yet. Okay, so Control F5 or the empty play button. And then up here in the URL, type /movies with a capital M. And we've got our empty database. So congratulations if you made it this far. Let's keep going. So back at the, yeah, gives you an error case if that happens. Oh, right, yeah, we can test. So yeah, and I see just from what we've done so far, now we've got our create form. We can create it, and it puts it in the database. You can view those details from the screen. Our URL is a custom URL to the details ID. Back to list. If we hover over the edit link down in the corner, you'll see that it brings up the link, which, yeah. So basically what I'm getting at is we've got a lot of those core functionalities just with what little code and commands we've done so far. That part to me was really mind-blowing, honestly. So yeah, so we got our create and edit. Probably make sure Avatar's a classic. It's worth $400.50. Updated? Perfect. All right. Scaffold. So yeah, this next section is going through each of those, each of the pages that were created during that scaffold process. And again, I encourage you to go through them. I did. It's not super relevant to the meat and potatoes of this tutorial, but definitely knowledge to know. But yeah, it's sets up a whole lot for you, but in a way that can obviously be uh, completely changed however you want. Just HTML, CSS, the good old web development stuff. So we're going to move on to working with the database. And this is database context registered. Okay, this is where the database context is registered, again in program.cs. Similar to a JSON. Alright, so when the app is deployed to test the production server variable. Yeah, I remember this part. So, up in View, SQL Database or SQL Server Object Explorer, we click on that, and our SQL Server, that shows up. I'm not sure if I can. Well, that's kind of annoying. Oof, okay. What just happened there? Yeah, well, I'm still getting used to... Oh, wait. That's right, because this thing has a... So I think I can stack it there. Okay, and then this thing... Come on, meow. I mean, we're all gonna figure out what I did and how to fix it here, so... There's no drag bar, though. And even the... How did I do that? Switch between solution and variable. Collapse all, show all. Properties? I don't think so. What in the world? Oh. Okay, I get it. Okay. Yep, that was 110% user error. Okay, yeah, I don't mind that. This is show tabs and okay. So yeah, I had show tabs in multiple rows selected, but I think that's just gonna mess me up more than anything. So personal preference thing, just letting y'all in on that. Right. So we're in the SQL Server Object Explorer, and we're going in the top local database into databases, Razor, pages, movie context. Yeah, the top one, tables, and DBO movie. Yep. We're gonna right click on him and view designer. Okay, so can I can do this. That's pretty cool. I do like this Visual Studio IDE, like a lot. So yeah, that view designer command brought us up our data, or this designer area. To the next to the ID by default, create ID primary key. Ah, okay. So the note or the docs are calling out note the identity, the key icon next to ID by default. EF creates property name ID for the primary key. Ah, that's the key in that. Ah, this key. Okay. So that means that it's the primary key, and the entity framework creates the property ID as the primary key by default. Simple enough. So now if we jump back to here, and we can actually close that, I'm pretty sure. And we right click on movie again, view data. Then here again we have why do we have that? So we I'm not sure why this data is showing up, because we haven't put that in yet. Let's see. Yeah, that data is the seed data that I put into my previous project, but not this one yet. So I'm just not sure where. Oh. Is it because okay. So yeah. Let me think about this for a second. So I've got, okay, this is all in this first database, but this one, okay. So yeah, this Razor Pages movie context is the version that I showed you all at the beginning. And this Razor Pages tutorial context is the one that we're creating. So that's why when I right click on movies here and view data, we just have the one entry for avatar at $400. So this is the correct data, and this is the one that. So, I guess for anybody watching after the fact or watching right now, and trying to follow along, following the documentation or my initial example will get you to where you need to go, because you should only have the one. But at any rate, I suppose you could make sure that you just check the database name here, the context name, and make sure that it matches your project name. So why did you do that? Okay, so now we're going to see the database. We're going to create a new class called seed name in the models folder. So we're going to jump over. Okay. I guess I am going to. Well, that's not. All right. Right. So in the models folder. I know I had to think about this one a little bit the first time. Yeah. So the same models folder that we made the movie class in, we're going to right click on models folder, add class, and we're going to call it seed data. Yeah. Seed data.cs, regular class. I am not sure what I did. What is going on? Bother. Next document group. Okay. Yeah, I think I accidentally changed the settings somewhere. Okay. I'm definitely not going to put you guys through the torture of watching me type all this out, so I'm just going to copy everything. Well, that was genius. Copy it again. Okay, Control V, and we have our seed data. Yep, so holding caps lock isn't going to do what I want it to. So obviously the documentation calls their project Razor Pages movie, whatever. And I already have that project named on my machine, so that's why I changed the name. If you're following along with me, hopefully this is all we'll have to do. Change movie to tutorial in the data import statement, and movie to tutorial in the models namespace statement, and then down here update our context name. Everything else should be okay. And we'll find out. So, in that... So this is calling out that if there's any movies in the database, it'll return. Basically, this is looking... Yeah, what I just said. This is looking for any movies in the database, and if there are any movies in the database, then it won't seed the database. It won't continue. It'll just return out. The seed initializer. So in this part, we have to add to our program .c file. Oh my goodness. Close. Here it is. We're going to add Razor Pages tutorial data. Yeah. We're going to add using Razor Pages tutorial dot models and then underneath app declaration data. And that should do it for that. Dependency. So, yeah, at this point we test that out. So we'll delete all records in the database so the seed method can run, start and stop the app. Alright, so we're gonna come over here, we're gonna delete that entry, we're gonna stop the, close the window, and rerun it. You can see we're building down here, and if we go up here, go to movies, and boom, we've got our seed data in there. And now that there's data in the database, that seed data function won't run anymore. So congratulations for making it this far. Next up, I'm gonna update the pages, which this Ah, yes. I remember this. So we're going to do a little bit of work to the database. Right here is where we're going to fix that error that happened the first time we changed the data, or that happened when we deployed the model class. So yeah, we're going to add, yeah, we're going to update models movie, our movie class document with that code. Go back to here. And so above, first thing we'll do for our release date, so we're going to put another attribute. Another attribute. This is a display attribute. Display, and we're going to tell it that the name equals release date. And this essentially tells the program, tells the client side to display the field name as this instead of this, which it can't have spaces for the database reason, but when it's displayed on the client side, it'll be displayed as this. Case in point, I'm pretty sure that, oh no, we gotta rebuild it. So I'll build it, and now we got a space between release and date here. That's all that did, but that's all it took to do that too. Pretty cool. Then we're gonna fix that decimal error with a column attribute. Type name decimal. Data annotations covered. Oh, this is a data annotation, and it enables an entity framework to correctly map the price to currency. So, yeah, another one of those things I have limited knowledge on at the current point. But it's not stopping me from making or having fun messing around with this, that's for sure. And hopefully it's not stopping you guys from learning a thing or two. Hell, just one thing would be awesome. So we're giving it this data annotation attribute, and we're going to tell it it's a decimal 18 2. And don't forget the closing bracket. And yeah, I can't tell you what this is, but it's supposed to be in there. Okay. Yeah, so that's in. Oh, wait. Oh, I see. I guess I can put this up here so you guys can see too. So we're getting close Yeah, this is page binding review. Yeah. So this is where we're going to stop for the tutorial for today. It's not where we're going to stop all around though. So there's still a couple things we want to get from that we don't have from what I showed you before. Obviously, this is still completely white. We don't have a movies link here to get to this screen, and it still has this basic text here. So we'll go over those couple things and wrap it up. So first thing we'll cover is the editing of this. We're going to change the text on. Oh, hey. Sorry, I'm not paying attention to the chat, but hey, Jay Fresh, doing good. Learning ASP.NET, C#. Been a lot of fun. How you doing, bro? Yeah, so looking for index. I'm gonna figure this out. Oh, come on, where was that at now? Move to next document group. And it wasn't that one. Because what we actually want is this layout. Alright, well, I will get this figured out at some point. But not while I'm live. Move to next document group. Okay, so in our layout dot sh or cs html. Wow, that's a mouthful. Look, we've got our links here. So index, privacy, the Razor page tutorials, another link to index or home. Yeah, I just remembered that this isn't where we were going to start, but it is now. So just copy this bottom one here, escape down, and we'll change this to /movies /index. Movies, and I want to say that's all I had to do to get that working, but we'll see. So we've got our link up here now, but the moment of truth will come when I click on it. Oh yeah, look at that. Boom. So we got a nice link in the nav bar now to get us to our database, or our index of our database. Yeah, that's so cool to me. So yeah, so now we will, come on now. Now we will tackle changing this text. So for that, we do want index shtml, cs html, and this is one of the simplest things ever. So the welcome, the h1 tag is the big welcome word. It's just basic. I mean, this is just HTML is all this is. Type whatever you want in here. ASP.NET Core tutorial. And save that, build it, and before I could even bring it back into the screen, it's updated. So there again, whatever text you want there. Now let's see, was that back in? Yes, it was. So I haven't done a whole lot of looking into this either, but it seems like it's using, like it uses some sort of Bootstrap type of styling framework. I know Bootstrap is definitely involved. I mean, you can see it's importing Bootstrap up here. But as far as like what, I'm pretty sure this is Bootstrap syntax right here. So I just got rid of the or where it says BG here, just background, and I changed it to success, I think. Yeah. Run that. And now our header's green. The other, or the nav, I guess, header, but yeah, the nav that's covering the header. And then up here in root CSS, site CSS, move to next document group. Under our HTML, again, this is a CSS file, so we're just writing regular CSS and just one line for that matter. Just going background color, colon, black, semicolon. Save that, recompile, bring it back up, and we got a black background down here that carries through even the privacy page, back to home, movies, the detail page. So yeah, that covers it. So once again, thank you guys very much for hanging with me through that. Special thanks to the new followers and to Jay Fresh for stopping in and saying hello in the chat. Definitely appreciate the views and you guys checking it out. Hope you guys had as much fun as I did. Till next time, we will catch you later.